Welcome to the University of Concordia in Irvine side of today's California Collegiate League matchup between the home team Orange County Riptide and the visiting San Luis Obispo Blues. That's a long name. Hi and welcome. My name is Michael Hofling, and we are getting ready for another shot to watch Riptide baseball, currently on a 4-game win streak, leading the Southern Division of the CCL. And they have been hot despite their blue jerseys. They have been on fire. Visiting Blues today come in. They got a pretty good season going as well. They're currently tied for second in the Central Division of the CCL, just behind the Barbara Foresters. But the Foresters, reigning champions of the league, started off a little bit slow, but have since come on super strong. Actually split the 2-game series they had at the very beginning of the season against the Riptide. Then they got a couple more of their guys, and since then they've been on an absolute tear. In fact, they currently sit 4.5 games over both the Blues and the Conejo Oaks. Blues are 12-9, Oaks 13-10. So Blues technically in second place, but they are both at the even amount of games. And they're above 500. Pretty good division. Only division with only 4 teams in the CCL. North and the South both have 5, but they'll have a couple of All-Stars as well in the upcoming game on Wednesday. Whereas the Riptide, they currently sit at 16-8. That's pretty good. 667 win percentage. 3 games over the Arroyo Seco Saints, who lost last night, for the Riptide to increase their lead. And they're looking to do the same here. 19-8-1 overall. And that was 3-0-1 during the preseason play. And they are going to see the Saints a couple more times this year, the second-place team. I'm going to see them actually only once after the All-Star break. That's the biggest problem for them right now. I was actually talking with Hayden Shenfield, the starter for last night's game against the Academy Barons, and he said, we're not really worried about the Saints as long as we keep our game going. First pitch was a fastball low and away, 1-0 to the leadoff man, Price Vicentainer. And the 1-0 is another fastball left up high at about the shoulders, 2-0. Why don't we go through the lineup for the visiting Blues? First is Price Vicentainer, followed by Tyson Quolas, and then Justin Beck, Adam Fogel, Marco Murillo, Ricky Martinez, Tate Samuelson, Drew Judson, and Hayden Hastings. It's currently 2-1, the count to Vicentainer. Cortina delivers. Looked like a little cutter that drops just below the knees. 3-1, we're in the hitter's count. It's a nice day here at University of Concordia Irvine, the 3-1. 2-seam fastball inside corner, 3-2. He thought it was ball 4, started heading on down to first, getting ready to throw his bat. But the count runs full. It's a lot nicer than yesterday. Yesterday got up to 97 at some points. Today it seems pretty cool, actually, about 85. Here's a high pop-up on the right side of the field in foul territory. Jake Polshin shading his eyes with his glasses and gets it with 2 hands to record the first out of this game. So 6 pitches Cortina needed, but he got Vicentainer out. So with 1 gone, no one on, here comes Tyson Quolas, the right fielder. Let's go through the defense for the Riptide. From left to right, it's Connor Beck, Dominic Fletcher, and Joey Parente. Beck replacing Shaw, who had a spectacular game yesterday, going 3 for 5 with a couple of RBIs and a lot of runs. First pitch to Quolas is way in and hits him right in the back. He turned, and that was the upper back. So he took that, might have gotten away from Cortina. And he's just going to shrug it off. Both of them are going to have to shrug it off. Quolas a little bit more than Cortina, perhaps, and that's going to put somebody on for the number 3 spot, Justin Beck. Continuing the defensive lineup for the Riptide, over at the hot corner, Will Proctor. We haven't seen a lot of him over at that corner. We've seen him at shortstop, and we've seen him at second base. We've even seen him on the mound, but never at the 5 spot. On the other side is Jake Polshin. He's at first. Shortstop is Phillip, and his middle infield mate is Jackson Williams. First pitch is on the outside corner with a fastball, 0-1. The lefty Beck getting ready to dig in once again. Behind the plate is going to be Cooper Ewell. He'll be in the squat, putting down the signs for Juan Cortina, who's making his first start for the Riptide in his second appearance. Another fastball that goes outside, a little bit high as well. Cooper Ewell, nice stop, 1-1. Haven't seen a lot of Ewell behind the plate as of late. It's been more given to Chase Shebby, Jake Polshin, and Mitch Andrews as of late. Here's a ground ball to the right side. Polshin has it on the hop. 3-6-1 double play. They got it. Nice effort by all 3 parties involved A nice backhand by Pulsion, and we head to the bottom of the first, a 0-0 ball game. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base for Cortina. Get ready for the Riptides turn at bat on the OC Riptide Network. Stay tuned. We're in the bottom half of the first inning. The Riptide are going to take their first time at the plate, and it's going to be Joey Parente up against the lefty Jack Schneider. Joey Parente got thrown out of yesterday's game after arguing a pickoff call. He got replaced by Connor Beck. And Joey Parente hit on the first pitch he sees right on the behind. We've already seen two hitters get hit. And I think a little warning is going to be called to both teams. In fact, the umpire is going over, and I think he's having a little bit of words with the Riptide dugout. But Parente does have good speed, and it's at the very beginning of the inning. That's not necessarily somebody you want to put on base. Something interesting that happened before this game, Coach Glenn Walker got thrown out before the game even started during the lineup card exchange. So when that happened, the Riptide only had one coach, Marcus Pointer. So I thought, who's going to be the first base coach? Obviously, Marcus is going to be over at third, and over at first base right now in the little staple is Aaron Greenfield. That's something you don't normally see every day, but Greenfield is actually a character. He's very well liked by his teammates. He's got all the jokes. He's a very, very suitable person. First pitch that Phillips sees is fouled off into the glove of Hastings. 0-1. Man on first is Parente. He's got good speed. 10 stolen bases on the year. In fact, he stole one last night. Phillip awaits the 0-1. And the delivery is down low in the dirt. Parente doesn't hesitate and takes off to second. The throw is high. Not in time. An awkward slide from Parente, but it works all the same. The stolen base for Parente puts a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Count is now 1-1 to Phillip. Phillip from San Joaquin Delta Junior College, looking for a Division I offer. In fact, a couple of the players, two of the players that we've seen a lot from on the Riptide, who came from JC's last year, Paul Gomez and Bo Phillip. Of course, Paul Gomez from Cypress Junior College. Yesterday, we learned that Paul Gomez got an offer from Mizzou, so the newest member of the Missouri Tigers. We're proud of him and glad he's going to continue his baseball career at a Division I school, and I'm sure he'll make them a much better team. Count is 2-1 to Phillip. Runner on second is Parente, a 0-0 ball game, and the 2-1 is popped up straight back, slightly to the right side. 2-2, the count's even. Defense lined up very straight away. The first baseman on that 2-1 was lined up toward the grass, but this time he's going to stay back in his normal position. Second baseman Vicentainer actually lined up a little bit closer to second, holding Parente on. And the 2-2 delivery from Schneider is in the dirt. Parente's not going to go on this one. He thought about it, but Hastings got to it very quickly. He's done a good job blocking those balls behind the in the dirt thus far. Bo Phillip, an all-star for the Riptide. Riptide, as I've mentioned, most all-stars in the league with 7. 5 of them on the offensive end. The pitch gets away, and it gets behind Hastings, and Parente is going to take third. Meanwhile, Phillip takes a wide turn around first after the walk, but decides to hold back, and it's going to be runners at the corners, and we'll see if any tomfoolery goes up with Dominic Fletcher at the plate. Dominic Fletcher currently tied for the league lead in home runs with 6. In only 16 games, the lefty Fletcher, ever since he came in, he immediately ignited the Riptide offense and has really sparked what is this spectacular run. Phillip takes off from first, and no throw from Hastings. Another stolen base, maybe fielder's indifference. It looked a little bit like he was trying to fake the throw and maybe get Parente to come off third a little bit, and there was, in fact, shenanigans going on. Count is 1-0 to Fletcher, the lefty. And the delivery from Schaefer. Topped and straight down. It's a foul ball. Not sure if it was going to be fair, but Fletcher actually didn't head toward first, so it looked like it was foul. But nobody was sure. They actually got the ball and threw it home. Parente was tunneling toward the plate, getting ready to score. And he's lucky because he would have been hosed. That throw was there a mile before he got to the plate. Count will be 1-1 with 2 men in scoring position. First baseman and third baseman both lined up on the grass, probably preparing for a sac bunt, but I wouldn't expect to see Fletcher do something like that. The 1-1 looked like a two-seamer or a sinker, cut back inside, but stayed outside. 2-1 the count now. We're in the hitter's advantage. Fletcher, second on the team in RBIs with 21. And he lines the 2-1 right to the shortstop Martinez, who is going to double up Phillip off of second. And there's going to be 2 gone, only 1 on, but he's 90 feet away from scoring for Jake Polshin, the cleanup man. Let's finish off the lineup for the Riptide. It was Parente, Phillip, and Fletcher, followed by Polshin. And then the 5 spot is going to be Beck, then Cooper Ewell. Mitch Andrews will DH today, and then Will Proctor and Jackson Williams. Will Proctor got the night off yesterday. But everybody else in the lineup today played in the game yesterday. Cooper Ewell and Connor Beck didn't start, but Connor Beck filled in for Parente after he got tossed, and Cooper Ewell came in as a pinch hitter and then played in the outfield for the first time this year. The 1-0 pitch was swung on and missed, a big hack that he swings over the top of on the changeup. 1-1. Polshin, a little bit of a cold streak for him after getting off to a very hot start to the season, about a 360 average. It's gone back down to 310. Even at the 360 average, he told me he wasn't seeing the ball very well, and I said, dude, if you're not seeing the ball well now, imagine what's going to happen when you get everything going. And he said, I know. And ever since then, the road trip has happened, and he struggled a little bit, trying to get back to where he was. The fastball gets him at the knees, rung him up, froze him. So Schneider gets out of a 2-men in scoring position, no one out jam, and we'll head to the top of the second. Still a 0-0 ball game. No hits for either team as we head to the second on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. So we got 4, 5, 6, the meat of the lineup for the Blues coming up against Cortina in this, the top of the second, a 0-0 ball game against the Riptide and the Blues. Adam Fogel, the designated hitter, to face Cortina. First pitch, swung on and missed, a nice pitch. Fell off the table, looked like it was going to be at the knees, and then broke with a slider away. 0-1. The 0-1. Low and outside with the fastball. Looked to be almost the exact same pitch, but this time it's about a 59-foot pitch. Nice block by Ewell. 1-1, the count's even out. Very calm stance, Fogel. The 1-1, line to the right side, is going to be foul and out of play over by the French Hill Reserve. As always, if you're at the game, you can get a foul ball, bring it to the snack shack, and you get a free popsicle. That sounds like a good deal. I might do some of that in between innings. 1-2 the count, and the delivery. Swung on and missed. First strikeout for Cortina. A 4-pitch strikeout to get the first man, Fogel, out. That's going to bring up the left fielder, Marco Murillo. Murillo looking to get the first hit of the ball game for either team. First pitch, breaking ball at the knees. Looked like a slider there. 0-1. This is the last game for the Riptide before the All-Star break. Only a 2-day break for the Riptide. There are a couple teams that actually have to play the day before, and I said that's not even really a break. That's just one day. That's just an off day. 0-2 the count to Murillo. Swung on and fouled off to the left side. He stays alive. Count remains 0-2. Murillo on the year, a .247 average. 19 for 77 with 2 doubles and 3 triples. No home runs, though. Still looking for that first dinger. The 0-2 swung on and missed with the high heat. Got him. So 2 straight strikeouts to start the top of the second for Cortina. 2 gone, no one on for Ricky Martinez, the man from Texas. My brother actually played with a guy named Ricky Martinez, and I thought this might be the same guy. I would have had a couple of nice stories, but unfortunately, it's not the same person. However, Ricky Martinez does have some similarities to the one I know. For example, they are both spectacular ball players, and they both play shortstop. Martinez, .260 average, 3 doubles and a triple, no home runs. Batting from the right side, so after seeing a righty and a lefty, he'll take another righty. Here's a line drive right back up the middle. Fletcher has a beat, moves over to the right side of second base, and makes the catch to retire the side. So it's been 6 up, 6 down for Juan Cortina. We head to the bottom of the second here at the University of Concordia Irvine. A 0-0 ball game, zeros across the board. I'm Michael Hofling. We'll be right back. Connor Beck, the righty, coming up to face the lefty, Jack Schneider, in the bottom half of the second. Schneider wiggled his way out of a pretty tough jam. 2 men on at second and third and nobody out, and got out of it, no runs across. Here the Riptide look to change that. Still a 0-0 game, but the first pitch was a fastball that runs outside, looked like a two-seamer, 1-0 to Beck. The 1-0, this time it's inside, probably a little low as well. Nice block by Hastings, 2-0. Jack Schneider goes to Grand Canyon University, and he says in his spare time he loves to play ping pong. Me and my brother love to play ping pong too. And I have to say, Nick, if you're listening, I am better than you, but you're maybe better than our dad. Maybe when I get back home, you'll be able to beat me for the first time in, I don't know, like 20 games? Either way, count is 2-1 right now to Beck. Schneider out of the stretch, delivers a breaking ball, supposed to break in, but instead it stays outside and a little bit high as well. We're in the hitter's count, 3-1. He also loves to visit Iowa, Schneider does on the mound. I've got some family in Iowa. Nice place, a lot of corn. 3-1 is swung on and missed. A big cut, trying to hit a 5-run home run with nobody on base. 3-2, the count's full. Full count, the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Looked like a little bit of a fastball, just at the letters and a little bit outside the zone as well. Beck chased it, and he went from the hitter's count to a strikeout. He'll head back to the bench. That's going to bring him the catcher, Cooper Ewell. No one on and one gone here in the bottom half of the second. First pitch to Ewell. Fastball outside corner. Ewell thought about it but held back 0-1. Ewell going to be another one of the All-Stars representing the Riptide in the upcoming All-Star game. He's had himself a spectacular season. Had to miss a couple games due to an injury where he took a fastball off the dirt and underneath the mask. And they've been glad to have him back. Not only does it add another catcher, which at this point in the season, when you get to weather where it's 97, 107, you want a bunch of catchers, and they have Jake Polshin, Mitch Andrews, who's on deck, and Cooper Ewell. The 0-2 is outside, looked like a breaking ball, a little bit low, 1-2. But Cooper Ewell also plays a lot of positions on the infield. We saw him play third base and second base this season, and yesterday he played in the outfield as well, so showing off exactly what he's capable of all around the ballpark. Fastballs outside, 2-2 or even. Ewell, an average above 300 as of the moment. It's exactly 340 with a couple of doubles, 3 to be exact. 5 RBIs. The 2-2 is swung on and drilled into left center field. Murillo has a beat on it, makes a camping tent underneath, and retires his man to get 2 away. And that's going to bring up the DH, Mitch Andrews. Mitch Andrews on arguably the hottest streak that we've seen of any Riptide player throughout the entire season. Over the last 6 games, it's been a 6-game hit streak, and in 5 of those games, he's had multi-hit games. Or at least over the past couple of games for him. He had to spend a couple time away from the team, a couple games away from the team due to family and personal reasons, but they're glad to have him back. I mentioned it yesterday, but you could tell. When he's in the dugout, it is noticeably lighter and everybody's having a little bit more fun. He's just somebody you love to have on your team. 0-1 the count after that fastball. Got over the plate. 0-1 is swung on and missed. Foul tipped into the glove of Hastings. 0-2 now. Andrews made his way back onto the team in their last game of their road trip, that long 2-week road trip. The 0-2 fouled on and straight back. Count will remain 0-2. We'll do 0-2 take 2. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Orange County Riptide Network. 4-game win streak for the Riptide, 16-8 on the season. They have been absolutely phenomenal, especially after starting the season 1-4, and a lot of people weren't sure. In fact, our general manager, Mo Gunhagen, he was a little bit concerned as to what the team was going to be able to do. And there Mitch Andrews swings at the high heater. That's the second strikeout of the second. 4th strikeout between both pitchers in the second inning. We head to the third. Still a 0-0 ball game and no hits. Riptide looking to go to 17-8 and heading to the All-Star game with a pretty nice win streak. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. Seven, 8, 9 spots coming up for the Blues to face Juan Cortina in his third inning of work. We're in the top of the third, a 0-0 ball game between the Riptide and the San Luis Obispo Blues. Juan Cortina from first pitch is drilled to right field, but straight at Parente. He could have had his feet glued into the grass and he would have made that catch. One away, nobody on for the 8th spot. Drew Judson, the center fielder. In the last half inning, what ended the top of the second, Ricky Martinez drilled a ball to right center field, but a nice jump by Fletcher got him. So 2 straight hard hit balls, but Cortina still has no hits on that board against the Blues. First pitch is 0-1, a fastball that goes across the knees. The 0-1 delivery is a 2-seam fastball, low and outside corner. Another nice spot from Cortina going up against Judson. 0-2, the count runs. And the 0-2 delivery. Fastball just outside. Judson thought about it. It was very close, and that's what you got to do on an 0-2 count. You got to protect it. You got to swing at the close stuff, but there, very good eye. The 0-2 swung on and missed. A drop third. They're going to say it wasn't a drop third, in fact. Ewell is just going to pick it up and tag in case, and that is going to be the 3rd strikeout in the last inning and 2/3 for Cortina. Hayden Hastings, the man behind the plate, is going to step up to the plate now for his first turn at bat. Cortina has set up the first 8 he's seen, looking for a clean sweep through the first time through the lineup. First pitch is popped foul to the left back behind us and out of play. 0-1. Cortina plays for St. Edward's University, actually transferred from Sam Houston State and now plays with his twin brother Romeo. Both of them transferred from Sam Houston State. Here's a pop-up out in the shallow right center field. Fletcher and Parente coming in, but it's going to be Fletcher who makes the catch for out number 3. So 9 up, 9 down goes Cortina through the first time through the Blues lineup. He's been very effective, but both pitchers have been effective. We're going to see Snyder in the bottom of the third. He's going to face 8-9-1, Proctor, Williams, and Parente when we come back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. Bottom of the third, Will Proctor, the man from the University of Georgia, going to step up against Schneider. Still no runs on that board for either team. First pitch, fastball. I looked right down the middle, but it was a bit low, 1-0. Something I find awesome, actually, Hastings behind the plate. He doesn't have the normal catcher stance, at least most of the time. Here he does. That's a fastball swung on a missed, 0-2. A nice cut from Proctor. Proctor, very free swinging, but he doesn't strike out very much despite what you might think from his free swinging tendencies. But Hastings, a lot of the time, he'll actually stretch out that right leg. And that's a way to increase your career as a catcher. Here, Proctor bloops it into shallow right field, and that's going to be the first hit of the game for a very speedy Will Proctor. Proctor, as I've mentioned, University of Georgia, where he's trying to major in international affairs. Actually goes there with his sister as well, and baseball is in his blood. His father played baseball for Georgetown from 84 to 88, and he is doing the name proud. He has been very effective in his time with the Riptide, and he's been done very well for the Georgia Bulldogs as well in the very tough SEC. Proctor leaning a little bit. First pitch to Jackson Williams is popped up on the right side. The right fielder Quolos giving chase, but it looks like it's going to fall just out of play, and the count will go 0-1.
It's a long run for Tyson there as he's going to drop back as he was with Schneider. Going to give him some time as he gets a new ball left up.
Williams, one of the newer players to join the Riptide, but he's been a very consistent part of the Riptide lineup ever since he became a part of the team. The 0-1 is fly to right field, moving back on this Quolos, still going back, and that one is going to one-hop off the wall over the head of Quolos, and they are going to hold Proctor at third. He had time, and a nice block by Hastings doesn't allow it to get past him, and that's going to be runners at second and third, nobody out for the second time in 3 innings. But hey, if history does in fact repeat itself, Riptide are going to have to change something, because last time this happened, Dominic Fletcher lined out to Ricky Martinez at short, who was able to step on second to double up Bo Phillip. But here's Joey Parente, who has a very nice tendency of getting on base, and hopefully he can do so at the All-Star game on Wednesday. Goes to Lewis and Clark State. His family usually comes to most of the games. First pitch. Two-seam fastball outside corner, 0-1. Parente got hit by a pitch on the very first pitch he saw. The 0-1 is in the dirt, looked like a changeup, 1-1, nice eye from Parente. So Parente looking to swing the bat. Toward the beginning of the season, I talked to him, and he said he loves to attack the first pitch he sees, but the first pitch he saw hit him in the butt. So Parente, the first pitch he saw there was a strike, but he didn't swing at it. And here he sees a 1-1 that he does in fact swing in, but he fouls it almost directly back. It's going to be 1-2. 2 hits in this half inning. Only 2 hits in the ball game for either team. Puts runners at second and third, and lo and behold, it came from the 8 and 9 spots in the Riptide lineup. That's exactly what the Riptide have done all year. They've been dangerous everywhere, in the 1 spot, 2 spot, all the way to the 9 spot. They've had the most potent offense in the league, in my broadcast opinion. The 1-2 is grounded to the second baseman, Vicentainer. This is going to score a run as Proctor comes across home, and the Riptide will take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the third. Bo Phillip comes up to the plate now. Bo Phillip is going to come up with a runner on third, and 1 away. The runner on third is Jackson Williams, who doubled. So with 1 gone and 1 on, it's Bo Phillip. Bo Phillip, a .315 average and Gold Glove caliber defense. I don't know what that cow was made of in the leather, but somehow he's been able to make phenomenal plays. Even yesterday when he was playing third base for the first time this year, he was able to make a number of nice charging plays, and that's not his natural position. 0-1 the count after he swung at that changeup that dropped below the knees. Threw him off balance a little bit. The 0-1 swung on and drilled to right field. It's going to be fairly deep. We'll see if Williams tries it. And it actually drops in foul territory off the glove of Quolos, and Phillip is going to head into second base with the E9. The sun is pretty ferocious here at the University of Concordia in Irvine. However, it's not directly above us. It's more toward the left side of the field. It would be shining in his eyes, the angle, but the ball was fairly high and took a long trip down. With one away, and there's still going to be a runner in scoring position, Dominic Fletcher. Last time Fletcher came up, he lined out to Martinez, and then Martinez stepped on second to get Phillip out, and we're in the same situation here. Fletcher up at the plate and Phillip on second. Fletcher, the lefty, awaits the delivery from Schneider, the lefty. Phillip takes off, and the pitch is in the dirt. Hastings is going to have no chance to get Phillip, who gets a stolen base, his second stolen base of the game.
Stolen base right there, so he swiped a couple bags here.
1-0 the count to Fletcher, who swings at the next pitch he sees. A nice play on the backhand by Beck, who will just take it to first himself, but another run comes across as Phillip gets through home. So an RBI for Fletcher, and it's a 2-0 lead, 3-0 lead, excuse me, for the Riptide. Now no one on for the cleanup man, Jake Polshin. Jake Polshin recently changed his facial hair. He had a full beard and a nice beard going on, and recently shaved it, and now he looks like a old school movie villain with just a little goatee and almost a handlebar mustache, and I think it looks good on him. It takes a very good man, very good looking man, and a very confident guy to make that work, and Jake Polshin makes it work to a T. 1-1 the count as that breaking ball goes below the knees. 2 gone, no one on. 3-0 ball game, only 3 runs on 2 hits, compared to no runs on no hits for the Blues. The 1-1, a big yuckadoo hack there from Jake Polshin. Swings over the top of that off-speed pitch. 1-2. We're in the pitcher's advantage. There haven't been a lot of hits, although both hits have come in this inning. The 1-2 is dribbled to the left side. Nice play by the third base coach, Marcus Pointer. 1-2, the count remains. A single and a double by the first two hitters, Proctor and Williams, and then that was followed by a ground ball to the second baseman Vicentainer, an error by the right fielder Qualis, which brought Bo Phillip to second, and then he stole a base, and then Dominic Fletcher grounded out to Beck at first. The 1-2 is a breaking ball in the dirt. 2-2. The deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 3-0 ball game. The Riptide lead, looking for their 5th straight win to move above 2/3 victory margin. Another cut there by Polshin, swings over the top of it, and that's going to send him back to the dugout. 4th strikeout for Schneider, but still it's 3-0 Riptide as we head to the top of the 4th on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. We're back to the top of the lineup for the Blues. Price Vicentainer coming up to the plate against Juan Cortina, who has been absolutely marvelous. Only 1 runner's gotten on, and that was after he hit Tyson Qualis. First pitch, a fastball at the knees, 0-1. Vicentainer popped up to the first baseman, Polshin, his last time up to start off the game. And that was just a smidge of foreshadowing of things to come from Cortina, the 1-1 delivery. Swung on over the top, got Vicentainer off balance. Vicentainer actually going to be one of the couple all-stars for the Blues. He has had spectacular success at the plate this season. And it's tough to make someone like Vicentainer look so off balance like Cortina just did with that changeup. That shows just how effective he's been and just how much he's feeling himself out there. 1-2 the count. Trying to get another strikeout. And the 1-2 is grounded to the third baseman. And it gets through Proctor underneath his glove. And that's going to be an E5. Looked more like a matador there. Just had to flash the leather and hope he got it. That's a tough play. So actually they are going to call that a hit. That's going to be the first hit for the Blues. And there's going to be 1 on, no one out. Here in the top of the 4th. I mentioned at the very beginning of the broadcast, the Blues 12-9 currently sit tied for second in the Central Division. And they need to get something going if they want a chance to catch the Foresters. They sit 4.5 games behind them. First pitch to the 2-spot, Tyson Quolis, is in tight, 1-0.
Tyson digs in here, gets the sign from Skip, ready to go. Blues looking to answer back here.
3-0 the Riptide lead. 1-0 the count. Ewell gives the sign, the delivery from Cortina. Fastball outside corner. 1-1, the count's even. Vicentainer, 388 average, 7 stolen bases to lead the Blues. And that pitch is swung on and missed, a big hack. 1-2, swung right through it. 1-2. Quolis, 222 average, no triples or home runs, 3 RBIs and 1 stolen base. Swung on and missed, the fastball below the knees, got him. That's Cortina's 4th strikeout of the game, and that's going to keep Vicentainer over there at first for the 3-spot, Justin Beck. Something funny about Beck. There are only 3 Becks in the entire league. Justin Beck at the plate, Connor Beck out in left field, and actually the 3rd Beck actually pitched against Justin Beck yesterday for the Pacific Union Financial Capitalists. That's actually not in the same league. I actually heard that story and I thought that was hilarious because it's 3 Becks back to back to back for the Blues here. Beck took the first pitch. It was outside, 1-0. Beck, 174 average, coming into today. Here he fouls this one straight back. Vicentainer took off there, but the hit and run will have nothing come out of it. The foul ball negates it. It's 1-1 now. Beck, 8 hits on the year. Not exactly what you expect to see from someone like him. He is a big guy, and you expect to see a little bit more power. He struggled through the first part of the year, but he is kept into that 3 spot because they know what he is capable of, and he is very dangerous if you overlook him. The 1-1 is popped straight up a mile high. It gets back and out of play into the bleachers and damages somebody's umbrella. Oh, no, got to get that fixed. Hopefully somebody has some tape. I gave away my tape at the beginning of the game, actually. 1-2, the count now to Beck. Beck batting from the lefty side, has the good matchup against has the bad matchup actually for Cortina. It's bad. You always want righty-righty when you're a righty on the mound. You want lefty-lefty when you're a lefty. Vicentainer gets looked back, being held on by Polshin. Man at the plate, Justin Beck faces the very pitcher's advantageous 1-2 count. Here he lines it into the 56 hole, just sort of poke the bat out there, and it gets into left field. And that's going to be the 2nd base hit of the inning, 2nd base hit of the game for the Blues.
Off speed, looked like a slider away, just reaches out, drops the barrel on it.
Kids, if you were watching that one, that's exactly what you got to do in your baseball career. You face a 2-strike count with very few balls on you. Just protect. You never know what's going to happen. If it's not exactly your pitch, but you think it might be a strike, just sort of throw your bat out there. You want to foul it off. And if you make contact, it's probably not going to be good contact, but maybe you'll get lucky and it'll be a base hit. And in that time, it wasn't the hardest of contacts, but it found a hole and got him on base. That's exactly what you want to do. Now that puts 2 on with only 1 out for Fogel, excuse me. Fastball down low. They're going to check down the first, but they say he did not go on the check swing. 1-0. Fogel, 271 average, 1 home run, 9 RBIs. That fastball was swung on and fouled straight back just above the parent filming the game. 1-1, the count's even. Fogel, not a phony at the plate. His 271 average is pretty good at demonstrating what he's been able to do. Very solid average. And he's been very solid for the Blues. He's been able to pretty much do it all. He doesn't strike out very much, only 10 strikeouts in his 54 plate appearances. He makes good contact and is able to manufacture a lot of runs. That's why he's in the cleanup spot. Fogel takes a changeup on the outside corner, got him looking, froze him up, and grabs some pine, Fogel. So 2 strikeouts in this half inning. Those are both outs. There's still 2 on. The runner at second, Vicentainer. Runner at first, Justin Beck. Both of them got on via the single. First 2 hits in the ballgame for the Blues. Still a 3-0 lead for the Riptide. Now here comes Marco Murillo. Juan Cortina still out there. He's been spectacular. First pitch, a fastball swung over the top by Murillo. 0-1. The bullpen for the Riptide not going, although the Riptide have been known to use a couple more pitchers than other teams. They love to give everybody an opportunity and save their arms for the playoffs. The 0-1 is fouled off to the left side into the Riptide dugout. Everybody got out of the way. Our trainer there had to move a little bit, but everybody else just sort of stayed still, and nobody got hurt. That's the most important thing. 0-2 the count right now to Murillo. Murillo, the lefty, no batting gloves. Old-fashioned, I like it, just like Will Myers. Speaking of Will Myers, all-star game coming up. He's not an all-star this year, though. Unfortunate for the Padres. 0-2, drilled to the left side. This one's a harder contact to the left side, out of play. Count remains 0-2. Into the empty parking lot. We don't know how long it's going to stay that way, but for now, we're all going to park up on the top of the hill. 2 on, 2 outs, 2 strikes. To the 5-spot Murillo. Cortina looking for to finish his 4th inning of work after 3 perfect innings. The runners take off. That's going to run in and hit Murillo. And that's the second hitter that Cortina is going to hit. Runners were taking off there, but on 0-2 count, if Cortina could have just controlled himself a little bit more, he would have had a very good opportunity to get out of this inning. But now it's going to be a fresh count to the 6th spot, Ricky Martinez. Ricky Martinez wears number 6, hits in the 6th spot, and plays the 6th position, shortstop. A lot of 6s. First pitch. Breaking ball inside corner, it lands 0-1. Bases are loaded. On third, Vicentainer. Second, Beck. First, Murillo. The 0-1 in the dirt. Martinez didn't want to swing in it, but the bat came around. 0-2. And we'll do this all over again. However, good news, everybody. The 2 hitters he's hit have both been lefties. So here he faces the righty. We probably don't have to worry about that, but I don't want to jinx it. 0-2 the count. This one's drilled back up the middle. Phillip will take the short way, flip it to Williams at second to retire the side. So the bases get loaded, but Cortina works his way out of it. 2 hits, the first 2 hits for the Blues, but Cortina gets through 4 very strong innings. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Still a 3-0 lead for the Riptide on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. We're in the bottom of the fourth, a 3-0 lead for the home team, Riptide. Cortina did a nice job to work his way out of a bases-loaded situation. And now the Riptide, led off by Connor Beck in this half inning, are going to look to back him up even more. They are up by 3 runs, got him back in the third, and looking to do the same here in the next frame. First pitch is down low from Schneider, who returns out there for his 4th inning of work. 1-0. Second delivery to Beck, low and inside. That's not going to reach there either. Beck, still waiting. The 2-0. That's down in the way as well. 3-0. Now he can be very selective. We'll see if the take sign is on here. Beck looking to get on. It'd be the second time in as many innings that the leadoff man has gotten on, but there's a fastball that lands on the outside corner. 3-1. We're still in the hitter's count. It looked like Beck had the take sign on all the way. Yesterday, Beck went 2 for 3, but got on 4 times, actually. 2 singles, an error by the catcher, and walked. So since coming in for Parente, he was a vital part in that 15-2 victory. Pretty much everybody who came into the game played a vital part in creating that 15-run performance, tying their season high 4 runs in the game. But it actually created a new mark for their highest margin of victory. That time, the center fielder Judson takes a few steps back to retire Beck. 1 will be away for Cooper Ewell. Cooper Ewell from Loyola Marymount University. A switch hitter. Normally bats from the right side, but yesterday we got to see him bat from the left side, and I thought if he gets a hit from the left side, we will know for sure that he's a switch hitter. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, so we'll have to wait until later. But I have some of my speculations. He's been batting from the right side all year, but I don't know. Every time I watch him approach the plate, and he takes a swing right and a swing left, it looks pretty fluid both ways. I know I've said that a lot, but it just makes me curious. 0-1 the count after he fouled that one off to the right side out of play. The 0-1 delivery is drilled as the second baseman who catches it on the line. Vicentainer makes the catch, and you will only get halfway down before heading back to the dugout. And you can't be mad about that one. Hard contact is exactly what you want if you're a baseball player. Reminds me of Mike Schmidt. Now, most baseball fans know who Mike Schmidt, the famous third baseman in the 80s for the Philadelphia Phillies, actually led the major leagues in home runs during the decade of the 80s. And when they were asked, geez, how do you hit so many home runs? He said, I hate home runs because that means I didn't hit a line drive. Shows you how much baseball players appreciate getting good contact and lining a ball. First pitch, it looked like a 2-seam fastball at the knees, 0-1 to Andrews.
Had a lot of run on that fastball today, looking pretty good for him as he worked out with his changeup, mixing in some breaking balls every now and then. He's been a good start.
0-1 the count. Andrews waits the delivery from Schneider, and it's another 2-seam fastball that lands on the low and outside corner. 0-2. Schneider looking for his first 1-2-3 since the second, when he got the same 3 hitters to strike out, fly out to the left fielder Murillo, and strike out. So Andrews not looking to do the same here, looking to keep the inning going, but the count is 0-2. Schneider delivers a slider that broke back in, and I would have taken that, but I'm not a baseball player. I don't see curves like that. I would have froze up there. 0-2, the count remains. Schneider, the lefty, has done pretty well in this game despite giving up 3 runs, only 2 hits. There's a fastball low and inside corner. That got him looking. Andrews froze up there. Not too happy about that call, but nothing you can do about that. He's going to head back to the dugout. The Riptide still lead 3-0 as we head to the top of the 5th on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. Stay tuned. 7-8-9 coming up to face Cortina, who's been just the man out there on the mound. His first start for the Riptide has been an absolute beaut. Tate Samuelson's going to be the first one in this top of the fifth. He's 0 for 1 with a line out to the right fielder, Parente. And I remember that one. Parente had pretty much both feet in the same spot, showing that he didn't have to move a muscle to catch that one. It was very well struck, but still, that looks like any other out in the scorebook. 1-0 the count after that fastball goes low and away. There's a breaking ball that lands just off the outside of the plate. 2-0. Samuelson swung at the very first pitch he saw last time. This time he's taken the first two. But here he pops this one up on the right side and out of play. It'll be 2-1. 3-0, the Riptide lead. 2 hits for both of them. But there's been a couple more walks. Here's a fastball that's lined back up the middle. Fletcher moves to the right side, and he will make the catch the second time he's had to do so. Fletcher has been so good out there in center field. You know what they say about good defenders? They make every play look easy. They don't have to be very flashy. They just make things look so easy, and that's what Fletcher has done. First time he came here, Parente was the normal center fielder. Now Parente being moved over to right, and I said, Fletcher, he's not as fast. He's not as big. Why do you have him in center? And ever since I've started watching him, I've just noticed, because he gets such good jumps and reads off the ball, he starts moving before the ball has even left the bat, it seems like, and he can get to balls that a lot of players otherwise wouldn't have been able to. The 0-1 delivery is down low, taken by Judson. 1-1. Cortina delivers the 1-1, swung on and popped up. Looks like it's going to stay on the infield. Right behind second base, Phillip looking straight into the sun, doesn't even have to shade his eyes to make the catch, and there's going to be 2 away. That's going to bring up the catcher, Hayden Hastings. Hastings 0 for 1 on the day. Pop up to the center fielder, very shallow center field, and wasn't sure if Fletcher, Williams, or Parente was going to get that one. First pitch is a fastball that ends up on the knees. 0-1. Hastings batting from the left side. He throws righty. You have to throw righty if you want to play catcher. Something my brother always had trouble with when he was playing in pony ball. We didn't do Little League. We did pony ball. He tried catcher for a year, and they said, you're a lefty. You can't exactly do that. And I always thought, why not? If you're a lefty, it's a lot easier to try to backdoor people at first. It's a lot easier for drop third strikes. The 0-2 delivery. That's a slider that ends up low and inside, gets through the backstop. That's another thing I always thought. I've never seen this happen, but I was wondering if it would ever work. Because if a ball gets to the backstop on a drop third strike, it's very likely, no matter how long you wait. We saw it yesterday. It happened to Bo Phillip. He swung and missed. Ball got to the backstop. He stayed there for about 2 seconds. Actually, it was Paul Gomez, and then took off. There's a drop third strike. Not able to tag Hastings, so the throw on down to first will be in time, though, to get that strikeout to count. We'll head to the bottom of the fifth. Still a 3-0 lead for the Riptide on only 2 hits. It's been 2 hits for both teams, and we'll head back to the University of Concordia Irvine on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. So Will Proctor is going to lead things off in the bottom of the 5th at the University of Concordia Irvine. Last time Will Proctor led off an inning, it was in the 3rd, and that's when the Riptide scored 3. So they look to do the same thing here. Proctor awaits the first pitch from Schneider, who's been just as effective, but here he dribbles it to the right side. The first baseman, Beck, he's going to have to race. He'll toss on over to Schneider, who was able to beat Proctor to the bag to retire his man for out number 1. From Howard Junior College, here comes Jackson Williams. Williams doubled his last time up, very deep, a one-hopper that landed on the warning track and went off the wall over the head of Qualis, which would eventually spark the Riptide offense and would allow those 3 runs to come across. It was that double that put him on second and put Proctor on third, and then all they needed was to get simple outs, which is what Parente, Phillip, and Fletcher provided. Fastball looked like a two-seamer at the knees, 0-1. Williams still looking for his first home run in the Riptide uniform. Makes very good contact, does not strike out a lot. Here he pops this one up, foul and out of play to the right side. 0-2. Don't look for him to strike out, although I've known to give commentator curses a couple times. But I don't know. Riptide are 16-8. I've only been to a couple of Riptide losses. I haven't cursed the team yet. 0-2 count from Schneider. Breaking ball ends up in the dirt. Nice block by Hastings. 1-2. These two teams have actually faced off twice earlier in the season. There he swings and misses. Actually gets in the dirt. Hastings is going to have to toss on over to first. And he will get it to Beck in time for the second out of the inning. And there we go, the commentator curse. Before I had to talk about what was happening, I talked about how the Blues and Riptide have faced off twice this year with them splitting that series. It was both games in SLO, San Luis Obispo, SLO, now you know. But the Riptide, they lost the first game. That was the last day of June, 5-4. They really couldn't get anything going after they had the lead after the second. They were up 4-2, and then the bottom of the third happened, and no runs after that. It was 5-4. Not looking back. That game, the loss went to Caleb Killian. Killian has had a spectacular season, but that was his only loss on the year for the Riptide. The 1-1 delivery to Parente, down low in the dirt. Nice block by Hastings, 2-1. The person who really strutted his stuff in that game was Adam Fogel, who went 3 for 4 with an RBI. Also Justin Beck, who was actually in the 7 spot at that point. Since then, he's been moved up to the 3 spot. He went 2 for 4 with a pair of RBIs. Here's a fly ball to right field. Not a good jump by Qualis, and that's going to allow Parente to get on first with the single. Looks like it might have knuckleballed a little bit out there. That's one of the toughest things for a right fielder or any outfielder to do for that matter. When the ball goes out there and has absolutely no spin, it's hard to gauge the distance. And just like when you see a knuckleball at the plate, it's hard to judge whether or not it's going to fall quickly or if it's going to go a little bit higher than you think. And if a hitter could do that every time, if they could force himself to do that and swinging bunt, if they could on purpose do a swinging bunt or knuckleball a pitch, or knuckleball a hit, excuse me, a lot of hitters would have much higher averages. First pitch is a fastball, ends up at the knees, 0-1 to Phillip. Second game that the two teams played in their series, 1st of July, Riptide came away with a 5-3 victory. Parente takes off. They're going to try to pick him off, and they do get him. Schneider, he's going to head for second, but the tag will be made by Martinez. So Parente gets caught stealing on the pickoff. A nice move by Schneider. You got to be careful when a lefty's on the mound. We'll head to the top of the 6th. Still a 3-0 lead for the Riptide, but now they've evened their amount of runs with their amount of hits. They have 3 hits on the day now. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. 1-2-3 coming up against Cortina, who returns out there to the mound. He has been spectacular. First pitch that Vicentainer sees is lined in the center field, and Fletcher is not going to be able to get there. That was a tough one for him. Fletcher, I've mentioned, he glides out there in center field, but not able to glide quick enough. And drops just in front of him. One hopper. It's going to be one on, no one gone for the number 2 spot, Tyson Quillis. Vicentainer now 2 for 3 on the day. Couple of singles and a pop up to the first baseman Polshin back in the first. Tyson Quillis is 0 for 1. He struck out and got hit by a pitch. First pitch he sees, he tries to sack bunt, but instead it goes foul. Cooper Ewell giving chase. It was just too far toward the backstop. One of the nicest plays I've ever seen in major leagues was a couple of years ago. Hector Sanchez was catching for the Giants, and a sack bunt attempt by a Rockies pitcher. I can't remember who it was, but it went straight back into the backstop. Sanchez saw where it was immediately, flipped off his helmet, ran back, slid, and made the catch, and then threw it to first to double off a Rockies runner at first. And that was absolutely spectacular. I wish I had TiVo, but I would have rewinded that about 4 times. Luckily, it was on SportsCenter later that day, so I got to see it over and over again. 0-1 the count to Quillis. Vicentainer, 7 steals. He has shown that he was willing to steal once before in this game. The 0-1 pitch is low and away, almost in the dirt. Nice stop by Ewell. 1-1. Bullpen is starting to go for both teams. We'll get word of who those are as soon as we know. The righty Cortina delivers to the lefty Quillis. A fastball at the shoulders, 2-1. Defense lined up straight away. Third baseman Proctor a little bit on the grass. Vicentainer takes off, and it's going to be into left field. We'll see if Vicentainer tries for third, but he respects the arm of the left fielder Beck and wisely stays at second. It's going to be first and second, nobody out for Justin Beck. So both times the Vicentainer has taken off, it's been hit and runs. Last time it happened, it was a foul ball by Quillis, so it was negated, but this time it's drilled into left center field. Phillip wasn't there to give a jumping effort because he was trying to cover second. And now Marcus Pointer, the pitching coach, going to go out and talk to his man Cortina on the mound. Hasn't been that long that the Riptide have been working out in the bullpen, so I assume that this will just be a quick meeting and they're going to try to let Cortina finish out this inning. But we'll see how it goes. Both pitchers, one in the Riptide bullpen, one in the Blues bullpen, are righties. And as I've mentioned, we'll let you know who they are as soon as we get word. So they are going to leave Cortina in there. Price Vicentainer over there at second. He'll trot back out there. On first stands Tyson Quillis, who just got his first game of the contest. Now steps Justin Beck, the lefty. Beck 1 for 2. He grounded into a double play, a nice double play, a 3-6-1. That you don't see every day. And he singled and got to second back in the fourth. Bases would get loaded on that inning. There's a breaking ball that goes way up. Stays out of the zone, though, luckily. Beck still looking for his first home run on the year. As I've mentioned, he has good power, but has not shown it off. Has not been able to flex his muscles that much. 1-0 the count. Vicentainer, a very small lead off of second. The 1-0, a check swing from Beck. They're going to say he held up, and it's going to be 2-0. 3-0 lead for the Riptide, in danger of losing it. They are actually trailing the Blues in terms of hits, 3-4 in that category. There's a fastball that goes down the line fair. That's going to reach the wall. That will score at least one. Here comes Quillis around third. He's going to score. He's going to try for third, and he's going to be hung up. Beck is hung up in between second and third. They have him in the pickle. They will throw. Now Phillip gets around, and Williams will tag him out. They're going to say he went out of the baseline, though. Either way, Phillip, a nice backhanded play to Williams, would have had him. Williams applied the tag in time. But that double will score 2, the 5th hit of the game for the Blues. The Riptide still lead, but it's much closer now. 3-2 lead for the Riptide.
He thought he was thinking triple out of the box, came wheeling around, and about a third of the way towards third base, saw that Bogart had the stop sign up, put on the brakes, and then realized...
So that's the very classic 9-4-5-6-5-6-4. That's what you put that down as in the scorebook. It's a classic play. You see it every day. And then now the second meeting. This will force a pitching change for the Riptide. We'll be right back with a new pitcher on the Orange County Riptide Network. The Riptide lead 3-2 over the visiting Blues. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. New pitcher in for the Riptide is Parker Joe Robinson, son of the bench coach Jeff Robinson. You might recognize that name because Jeff Robinson actually played at Cal State Fullerton and 9 years in the major league. So his son, he has been spectacular as well. Not allowed an earned run all year, 4 runs though. So he's fallen victim to a couple of errors. In 9 2/3, he's only allowed 7 hits and walked 2. That's a pretty good whip. An even better ERA. First pitch, fastball up high and away. 1-0. Robinson, one of the 2 All-Stars for the Riptide that are on the pitching side, along with Caleb Killian. Robinson goes to Texas, Killian to Texas Tech. So the 2 Texas men are going to be playing in Compton for the CCL All-Star game. 1-1 the count to Adam Fogel. Fogel batting from the right side against the righty Robinson. He has a low 3/4 release to 1-1. 2-seam fastball breaks back into the outside corner of the plate. 1-2. We're in the pitcher's advantage. I love to talk about how important the 1-1 pitch is in baseball. Parker Joe Robinson showed it off there. If it's 2-1, he's in danger. There's a breaking ball swung on and drilled into left field. That's going to be a base hit. So Adam Fogel comes in against Robinson, who has been very effective all year, and immediately drills it straight at Connor Beck and puts somebody on with only 1 away, still looking to extend this top of the 6th where they've already scored 2. The final line for the starter, Juan Cortina, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 5 strikeouts, no walks. First pitch is swung on and missed by Marco Murillo. Murillo 0 for 1 on the day. He got hit by a pitch his last time up. That's also another thing I should mention. Cortina did hit 2 batsmen, one in the first and one in the fourth. And Murillo got hit in the fourth. 0-1. Swung on and popped to the left side, out of play and foul. 0-2. Murillo did strike out his first time in the second. That was against Cortina. That was in an 0-2 count as well. So here, Parker Joe Robinson trying to do the same thing. However, he would take a ground ball, I assume. Riptide have shown off that they are very, very good at turning double plays. They've already turned one in this game. Yesterday, they turned 3. So Phillip and Williams at short and second are like Joey Fatone and Justin Timberlake. They're so in sync. The 0-2 is fouled to the left side, out of play once again. 0-2, the count will remain. Into the empty parking lot. Actually, out where the batting cages are. Not necessarily the batting cages, but when the hitters take batting practice before the game, a couple hours before the game, there's a big net that goes around everything. And the nets are actually kept to the left side out in front of the parking lot because we used to keep them out there. The 0-2 is grounded to the shortstop, Phillip. 6, 4, 3, not in time. They will get the lead runner, Fogel. But Murillo is going to stand on first after the fielder's choice. That was very quick hands by Phillip. Fogel, as the DH, does have good speed. And that was a high chopper, but Phillip, as he's been able to do all year, showed off why he's one of the best fielders in the CCL, why he's at that infield captain position, shortstop. 2 gone and 1 on. He's on first, and it's Marco Murillo. Ricky Martinez is at the plate. First pitch, a bunt, ground ball to the left side, foul. Martinez has great speed. That's why he's playing shortstop. Saw that Proctor was a little bit back. Proctor has a tendency to stay back as well on ground balls. That's why he's at the hot corner perhaps, because the balls come on you a little bit quicker. You don't have to stay back a lot of the time. You have to stay back a lot of the time. 0-1, a 2-3 lead for the Riptide. Home run would put the Blues in the lead, their first lead of the game. Here's a breaking ball, popped up on the right side. Polshin giving chase. He has to run a long way, but it's going to be the right fielder, Parente, who slides and makes the catch. A spectacular play by Parente, who traveled more distance than the Louisiana Purchase, and that's ironic because he goes to Lewis and Clark State. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Either way, it's a 3-2 lead for the Riptide as we head to the bottom of the 6th at the University of Concordia Irvine. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Oefling. Stay tuned. New pitcher in for the Blues. It's Jake Switch, the San Jose State Spartan. I'm from San Jose, so I have a soft spot in my heart for the Spartans. But right now, I hope he gets shredded by the Riptide. And it's going to be Bo Phillip, the 2 spot, who's going to be the first to see him. So Switch coming in for Schneider. Schneider, 2 earned runs, 3 runs total. He would take the loss if the game were to end right now. But we still have 3.5 innings to play. First pitch was outside, 1-0 to Bo Phillip. Bo Phillip got up last time, but Joey Parenti got caught stealing, so he did not get to finish his at-bat. There's a 2-seam fastball that lands on the outside corner, 1-1. Jake Switch, an avid snowboarder and fisher as well as a baseball player. He actually also does a little bit of geography as well. He wants to be a city planner if baseball doesn't pan out. I'm not much of a snowboarding guy myself. I ski. I've gone snowboarding once, and it was so atrocious that the first time I went down the slope, I accidentally went off a ramp and hurt myself and had to call my mom. I was about 11. 2-1 the count to Jake Switch. 2-1 the count to Phillip. Swung on in a high chopper to the shortstop Martinez. The throw is just in time, gets Phillip by a half step, so Martinez retires his opposite number for the first out. That's going to bring up the 3-hole Dominic Fletcher. Fletcher very, very dangerous. The Arkansas Razorback, the cover boy for the CCL All-Star Game. I talked yesterday about how a lot of voters will put the cover for the All-Star Game will usually be who they think was the MVP of the first half. And it's been Dominic Fletcher. If you look at the CCL website, Dominic Fletcher is on the cover for the All-Star teams being revealed. But I took a look at the stats, and there's only one other player that I really think has been as good, if not maybe even a little bit better, than Fletcher. And that's Cameron Warren. Here he pops it up, foul territory on the right side. The third baseman, Samuelson, he charges, and he is not going to be able to make the catch. He actually called off the pitcher and catcher, so Hastings and Switch actually stayed back because Samuelson called them off. He misjudged that, maybe thought it was going a little bit farther, and actually got a little bit of a mean look like, come on, man, from Hastings after that. So it's 0-2 to Fletcher. Fletcher, 6 home runs, but only 1 at home. And I've been wanting to see a Fletcher home run. I only got to see, I've seen 2. One against the Arroyo Seco Saints, but that was in Pasadena. And then the one here against the Conejo Oaks. Here the 0-2 is swung on, lifted down the line. It's going to be a tough play for the left fielder, Murillo, but he makes the catch pretty much a step inside the line. There's going to be 2 away. Now the first baseman, Jake Polshin, up to the plate. I wanted to talk about Cameron Warren a little bit, arguably the only guy who I think is ahead of Dominic Fletcher in terms of MVP for the first half of this CCL season. Warren, .426 average, 5 home runs, 25 RBIs. And you think, well, that's all right. Fletcher hasn't played as many games as most of the other players. So, I mean, it's probably just it's proportionate-wise, Fletcher is still probably ahead. But actually, Warren came in late as well and has actually played as many games as Fletcher. 1-1 the count to Polshin after 2 fastballs landed on pretty much the same spot, but one of them got called a ball and one of them got called a strike. Switch looking to get through a 1-2-3 inning. It'd be the first for the reliever. Here is a high, deep fly ball to center field. He goes back, and it's a one-hopper off the wall, off the base, and it's going to be a stand-up double for Polshin. For a while there, it looked like it might get into the batter's eye and be a home run. Polshin still looking for his first on the year, but instead it's a stand-up double, and there's going to be a runner in scoring position with 2 gone for Connor Beck.
Almost an insurance run there for the Riptide. That ball was hammered pretty solid.
You know, Polshin, not necessarily a stickler for home runs or power numbers. He prefers more line drives and base hits. He's a pretty soft-spoken guy when it comes to power, but I don't know. You take a look at him, and you mention that you mentioned in conversation that he hasn't hit a home run yet, and you think maybe he might be a little concerned with that, so maybe he's a little like, oh, come on, a couple more feet, and that's a home run. But that was the deepest part of the yard. First pitch is a fastball on the outside corner. Nice four-seamer. 0-1. Connor Beck, 0 for 2 on the day, struck out and flew out to the center fielder Judson. That was in the second and fourth. We're in the sixth now, a 3-2 lead for the Riptide. There's a fastball that runs inside but fouled off pretty much straight back by Beck. Bullpen going for the Blues. A righty. Nobody working out in the bullpen for the Riptide. Well, it looks like somebody might be getting ready to go into the game. Looks like it'd be Blair Lewis, if my eye serves me correctly. But don't fact me on that. 0-2 delivery. In the dirt. Polshin, not the best wheels. He's going to stay back. Hastings jumped on it quickly. 1-2, the count runs. Three runs on 4 hits for the Riptide. 2 runs on 6 hits and an error for the Blues. 3 runs in the third for the Riptide, and there's a breaking ball that goes low and away. A nice little stop in the 5-hole by Hastings. Keeps Polshin at second. 2-2, the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the man on second. Beck awaits the 2-2. It was 0-2. He's been very patient, and he's fouled off one as well. The 2-2. Swung on and missed over the top of it. That looked like a changeup, put Beck off balance. We'll head to the top of the 7th. Still a 3-2 lead for the Riptide, but all of a sudden it's looking a little scary. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Hofling. Stay tuned. Seven, 8, 9 for the Blues as we are in the top of the 7th now. The Riptide lead 3-2, and it's been that way since the 6th actually. In the last half inning, or the last frame, the Blues scored 2 to cut that lead down considerably. It looked very comfortable, and Cortina was dealing, and all of a sudden it seemed like the whole world was falling. Parker Joe Robinson came in and cleared things up, though. The first pitch that Samuelson sees is tapped over to the left side, right in front of the Riptide dugout, 0-1. Samuelson made a diving effort to try to catch a pop-up against Fletcher in the bottom of the 6th. To no avail, though. Instead, he had to wait another pitch. Here he pops this one up to the center fielder Fletcher. Shallow center field. Williams might get it, but it's going to be Fletcher who calls him off and makes the catch for the first out. Drew Judson, the man at the plate now. Judson currently 0 for 2. He struck out in the 3rd and popped out to the shortstop Phillip right behind second base in the 4th. in the fifth. Judson, 231 average coming into today. First pitch, a slider that rolls away, 1-0. Judson, 231 with a couple of RBIs. Only one double, that's his only extra base hit. The 1-0, it's a two-seamer that goes on the inside of the plate, but Judson went around on the check swing, didn't want to swing at it, but it's 1-1, counts even. The Blues have been a little bit more efficient in terms of the hit category, but the Riptide have been a little bit better at stringing the hits together. There's a slider, tried to backdoor him there. 2-1. Judson, the righty, waiting for Joe Robinson. Parker Joe Robinson, a two-seamer fastball. Outside corner, 2-2. Robinson, a teammate of Tate Shaw, another Riptide player back at Texas. So there's a changeup. Swung on and missed by Judson. Judson was way off balance. Nice job by Robinson to get two away in the top of the seventh.
Next up, the catcher, number 12, Hayden Hastings.
That's going to bring up the catcher, Hayden Hastings. Hastings has had a pretty good day behind the plate. Not the best at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a pop out to the center fielder Fletcher. Very shallow center back in the third. And a strikeout in the fifth. Those were both against Cortina. First pitch he sees is a slider that ends up below the knees. 1-0. Hastings from San Diego, California, but goes to Gonzaga. Here's a fastball that's lifted to left center. Beck will make the catch and retire the side. So 3 up, 3 down for Parker Joe Robinson. He's been great all year, and he keeps the Riptide in the lead. A 3-2 lead. They're looking for their 5th win in a row. The Blues looking to keep pace with the Santa Barbara Foresters. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. I'm Michael Ofling. Stay tuned. Seventh inning stretch time. Everybody has stretched. I got my yoga mat out, and it's going to be Cooper Ewell coming up against Jake Switch. First pitch, a breaking ball that ends up outside, 1-0. First base coach has changed throughout the game. In the first, it was Aaron Greenfield. And then right now it's Blair Lewis. Blair Lewis almost a little bit late getting there, so he had to actually run, and it was quite a sight to see. Hastings, the extended leg behind the plate, gives the sign, and it's a fastball that ends up at the knees past Ewell. 1-1, it's even now. Had a little bit of trouble there with the music. This is actually the first time through the lineup we've seen where it's not Beck, Ewell, Andrews, the three due up. Instead, it'll be Ewell, Andrews, Proctor. And Ewell grounds this to the shortstop Martinez. Ewell has some speed. The throw is in the dirt, dug out nicely by Beck over at first. And there will be one gone.
Next up, the designated hitter from Lamar University, number 25.
So the DH, Mitch Andrews from Lamar University, he's going to come up to the plate now. Andrews in high school was a very great player. He's been great for Lamar and even better for the Riptide even. He's in danger of losing that hit streak though. It's currently the longest active hit streak on the Riptide. Looking to push it to 7 games. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. But back in high school, Andrews was on a team that was ranked #1 in the nation for 2 years. And that just shows how good you have to be. And you take a look at Andrews, and he's a dominating figure. Definitely not somebody you would want to have an arm wrestle with. You would lose all your money that way. Maybe even break an arm. That shows just how strong he was and just how great he was at seeing the ball. And allowed him to get on that team and allowed him to be a driving force in getting his team to that #1 ranking. Count is 1-1 to Andrews. For this is the first time Andrews has seen switch. Maybe he'll have a little bit better luck than he had against Schneider. Switch deals a fastball, fouled straight back into the chain link fence. It'll be 1-2. So, like the other 2 at-bats, he finds himself in an early 2-strike count. Looks like the stream is still all right. We'll fix that if it gets knocked offline. Will Proctor, the man on deck. Proctor, 1 for 2 on the day. He scored the very first run of the contest back in the 3rd. The 1-2. Breaking ball that ends up striking out Andrews. Andrews swung over the top of that. That's the 3rd time he's been sent down on strikes.
University of Georgia, number 11, Will Proctor.
Will Proctor will step up with 2 away. As I've mentioned, he's 1 for 2. Singled back in the 3rd. That was on an 0-2 count. And then grounded to the first baseman, and a nice play by the pitcher. Schneider was able to beat out Proctor to first. First pitch, a 2-seam fastball, ends up on the inside corner, 0-1. Switch has done well out of the bullpen. This is his 2nd inning of work coming in for Schneider, trying to make sure that lead does not get any worse than it is. Only a 1-run lead for the Riptide. They scored 3 in the 3rd, and the Blues scored 2 in the 6th. That's where we are right now, here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 gone. The count is 1-1 to Will Proctor. Proctor swings and grounds to the 3rd baseman, Samuelson. It was just foul to the left of 3rd base. It was a nice backhand play by Samuelson. Very likely that Proctor would have been thrown out, so maybe Proctor getting a little bit lucky there. However, the throw might have been errant. You never know. Proctor coming into today a .250 average with 2 triples and 6 doubles. I remember those 2 triples actually came in back-to-back games against the Santa Barbara Foresters in the 2nd and 3rd games of the season. 2 stolen bases on the year. As I mentioned, he has pretty good wheels. A .721 OPS. The 1-2. Swung on and fouled off to the right side. Out of play. Count will remain 1-2. Proctor, the 8th spot. The job of an 8-spot hitter is always to get on base. I learned that a couple years ago. They said, especially in the National League in terms of the Major Leagues, but even in the American League, as I've watched a couple of A's and Angels broadcasts, those are my 2 favorite teams in the American League. But they say that the job of a number 8 hitter is to get on base because that assures that in the next inning, the top of the lineup will come up at some point. It's deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out to Proctor, who pops this one straight back, foul out of play, right behind me and the Blues broadcaster, and it's going to roll back down underneath the bleachers. Oh no, nobody's going to be able to get that and get a free popsicle. But let's not cry over spilled milk. I could have pretty much reached out and gotten that one. I wouldn't mind a popsicle right now. I've already gone through my 2-liter drink. The 2-2 again. 2-seam fastball ends up outside. brings it full, so from 1-2 to 3-2. Nice job by Proctor staying very patient, and he's able to battle as well. He's now going to look for a mistake from Switch. However, Switch in his 1 2/3 innings of work thus far, he has not made many of those. The 3-2 slider outside, very nice hold up by Proctor. He'll take a leisurely stroll down onto first, and you could hear the Riptide dugout there on that one. That was kind of funny because the entire Blues team started heading off the field, and you could hear the Riptide dugout go, no, that was not a swing. And then Hastings pointed to the first base umpire, who assured everybody that it was in fact not a swing. That's going to bring up the 9 spot, Jackson Williams, and Will Proctor did exactly what he had to do. Proctor takes off. Here's a high, deep fly ball to center field. Moving back on it is Judson. Judson's not going to get it. It's going to be off the wall. Second time he's been able to get one off the wall. Proctor will come around to score. And Williams, the second time he's been able to double, and the second time he's been able to get Proctor to third or better. And the Riptide dugout loving that one. Williams got to second and flexed a little bit, showed off his muscles. And he is having himself quite a day. His second hit of the day, his second 2-bagger. And now the head coach for the Blues is going to go out and talk to his man Switch. The bullpen is going. Head coach Dan Marple going out. Bullpen hasn't been going for a while, so we're not sure if it is going to be a switch. And Marple actually played at Hueneme High School, and he was named first-team All-CIF as a senior back in '71. And he played at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo for the Mustangs. He was actually with the Baltimore Orioles as well for 3 years. He reached the AA League. He's had a couple years coaching as well. Began coaching in 1979. This is his 3rd year with the Blues. Parente up to the plate now. First pitch he sees from Switch is outside. Looked like a 2-seam fastball. Actually hit the outside corner, 0-1. Parente awaiting the 0-1 delivery. Switch toes the rubber and fires. A ground ball to the shortstop, Martinez. Martinez has it on 2 hops and just in time getting Parente by a step. But not before Will Proctor comes across on the Jackson Williams double. Williams, have yourself a day. He is putting on quite a show. 4-2, the Riptide lead. We head to the top of the 8th on the Orange County Riptide Network. We'll be right back. New pitcher in for the Riptide. It's Will Tomlinson, and he wears number 13, and it's been very unlucky for opposing teams. He has been lights out all year. Here's a ground ball to the right side, left side, right down the third base line. That might be a double, and it will be a double as Vicentainer actually gets there standing up, and now all of a sudden the Blues are in business. Runner in scoring position, nobody out, and I might have jinxed it. Tomlinson, still very good pitcher, only 1 ERA thus far. A lot of people thought he might have been an all-star selection. When he's come in, he was absolutely lights out. Absolutely nobody could get on base with the first couple of times he appeared. In fact, he actually threw 3 innings in the very first game against the Arroyo Seco Saints and struck out 6. And I talked to him after that game, and he said he lost count of how many strikeouts he had. And I said, is that something you really keep track of? And he says, oh, yeah, every now and again. So he lost count. That shows you just how many he had. 4-2 lead for the Riptide. First pitch, that's to Qualis, is swung on and missed. A big swing and a miss. 0-1. Qualis from Monterey Bay College. He's from Oxnard, California. Monterey Bay. That's from around where I am. One of the best aquariums in the world. You ever go there? That's definitely something you gotta check out. Tried to keep a great white there once. That didn't work out as it normally does. But they actually hold the record. For the longest time, they've been able to hold a great white in captivity. 0-1 to Qualis. Breaking ball, the big hook, drops in there. 0-2. The man on second, Vicentainer, a 1-pitch double to start off the top of the 8th. Qualis, 1 for 2. Hit by pitch, single, and struck out. The 0-2 fastball right by Qualis, who was swatting at flies at that one, just like I'm kind of doing right now. First out of this top of the 8th. There's going to be 1 on, 1 out. And the man at scoring position is Price Vicentainer. Man at the plate, Justin Beck. Beck, a 2 RBI double. He's responsible for both of those runs. He was trying to get to third, though, and got promptly thrown out in the rundown. First pitch, a slider, ends up at the knees. 0-1. Tomlinson currently leads all bullpen players on the Riptide in strikeout. There's a big swing and a miss. Right over the top of it, got away from Yule, who hopped up and got to it quickly. Didn't allow Vicentainer to move. Vicentainer thought about it, but decided not to. These flies are really annoying me. I feel like I'm distracting the pitcher from behind home plate. They're just not leaving me alone. 0-2 to Beck. The delivery from Tomlinson. Fouled straight back. Yule had a chance to catch it, but it was very hard hit. Straight back. 0-2, the count remains. We'll do 0-2, take 2. Haven't seen many breaking balls, but Tomlinson's strikeout pitch is that huge curveball, the 0-2. It's a fastball down the line at third. Proctor thought about trying at second, but he will throw across the diamond to Polshin at first to retire the second man of the inning. Tomlinson has a tendency to make hitters hit late. Proctor leaning a little bit toward the left side, over toward the line at third. And that positioning really served him well there. Without him standing where he was, that's arguably a double down the line and scores another. However, now it's just 2 outs for the cleanup man, Adam Fogel. Excuse me, it's actually Jeremy Jess. Came in for Fogel. First pitch is a fastball down low in the dirt. 1-0. Good eye by Jess. Jess looking to drive in a run. Make it a 1-run deficit. A home run would tie it. Defense lined up toward the line. Expecting either a very early hit or a very late hit. You can see Proctor about 2 steps off of the third base line and Polshin about 2 steps off the first base line, leaving big holes between the shortstop and third baseman, as well as the second baseman and the first baseman. I call those the 43 and the 56 holes. Vicentainer with 2 outs. He'll be moving on contact if he can get something into the outfield. That is Jess, if he can do so. Would very likely score Vicentainer, who has great speed. 4-2, the Riptide lead, looking to hold it. 2-0, the count to Jess. The 2-0. Breaking ball in the dirt. Vicentainer thought about trying Ewell, but Ewell got to it very quickly. Another nice block. 3-0. Who says catcher isn't an athletic position? We've seen very good performances from both Hastings and Ewell. And they've been hopping around all day. And aside from one wild pitch that allowed Phillip to move to third and would eventually score him back in the third, the catchers have been very good at keeping the balls in front of them. It's 3-0. He can be very selective. There is an open first base, so perhaps he's working around Jess. The 3-0. Fastball down low, gets away from Ewell, and he is going to head to third. Vicentainer. Vicentainer thought about going home, made a big swing around third, but Ewell got to it quickly as soon as he knew where it was. Tomlinson was covering home, and it's going to be runners at the corners. We'll see if there's any 31 shenanigans going on right now. Not sure if this would be the time to do it with 2 outs. Not the greatest of speed over at first and Jeremy Jess. It's going to be Marco Murillo. Murillo is 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out and got hit by a pitch and also grounded into a fielder's choice. He's reached base twice. Tomlinson delivers. First pitch, a fastball inside corner. 0-1. On deck, should Murillo walk, is Ricky Martinez. Martinez is 0 for 3. Tomlinson toes the rubber and fires. A slide step right down the first base line. That's going to get into right field. Jess will round second, but will hold. It's going to be first and second, and an RBI for Murillo. His first hit of the contest makes it a 4-3 ball game, and all of a sudden, Riptide fans are shaking a little bit, including myself. And trust me, it's not because it's cold. Jess, the tying run, he's in scoring position. And go ahead standing at first. And it's going to be Ricky Martinez. And now Marcus Pointer going to go out and talk to Tomlinson. Not something Tomlinson needs very often. As I mentioned, I love how he pitches. It's very simple. Fastball, changeup, curveball. And he's been so good with it, actually. As I've mentioned, a 1 ERA. Of course, it's going to be increased after today. Only allowed 16 runners to reach in his 18 innings of work. And a 175 batting average against. The meeting just trying to calm Tomlinson down, I assume. Nobody working in the bullpen for the Riptide, so this is his inning. There are 2 away, but he needs to make a pitch here to get Martinez out. He needs to make a couple of pitches in a row, perhaps. Tomlinson, a student of the game. He goes to Brown University, majoring in economics. Meanwhile, I'm trying to make sure not to remember not to put the fork in the toaster. He's a very smart man. Going to use those smarts here. First pitch, breaking ball, outside corner and at the knees, 0-1. Tomlinson getting Martinez off balance with the first pitch curveball. Not something you see very often. Normally pitchers want to get ahead in the count, but Tomlinson's so confident in that curveball, the 0-1. Looks like another breaking ball. That looked more like a slider at the knees, 0-2. He has Martinez right where he wants him. We're in the top of the 8th, a 4-3 lead for the Riptide. It's been back and forth all game. The Riptide have had the lead since the 3rd, have not given it up, but the Blues have been nipping at their heels since the 6th. The 0-2 looked like a big curveball. Nice take by Martinez to hold up. 1-2. Big batter here. A base hit would likely tie the game. Something in the gaps likely would give the Blues the lead. The 1-2. There's the hook. Just high. And actually was above the zone as it crossed the plate and dropped in. That's something a lot of umpires will call a strike. When the home plate umpire not falling for it. Nice pitch from Tomlinson, who started heading off of the field. It's going to be 2-2. The deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. He will step off. Very big inning. Wind blowing slightly to right field. Very, very slight. I'm talking very minimal wind. You can't even see the tree swing. I'm just telling by the flag. The 2-2. Swung on the miss. Gets away from Ewell. He's heading to first. Ewell is not going to be able to get to it in time. It's going to be a drop third strike that will send Martinez to first, and the bases will be loaded for Tate Samuelson.
So now a big spot here. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. And no, who else would be coming into play than the youngster, Tate Samuelson.
Tate Samuelson has an opportunity to come up huge for the St. Louis Obispo Blues. San Luis Obispo Blues, excuse me. 4-3, the Riptide lead. First pitch, the hammer in there for a strike, 0-1. He's used that first pitch curveball very effectively. Ewell has done very well behind the plate, blocking balls in the dirt. That one just got away from him just enough. 0-1. Ground ball to the first baseman, Polshin. A tricky hop, but he gets it right in front of him and will step on the bag. So the bases are loaded, and everybody was shaken. But the Riptide come away with the lead. They are up 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned. New pitcher in for the SLO Blues, San Luis Obispo Blues. It's Josh Goldberg, another San Jose State Spartan. He became the closer for the Spartans in his 3rd year with them. And that happened in early April when he led the team in saves with 6. He had a couple multiple inning saves as well, so he has very good stamina for a closer type. First batter he sees is Bo Phillip, and he delivers a fastball just low, 1-0. He's actually been very dominant with the Spartans. Coming out of the bullpen, he appeared in 29 games last year. 1-0 pitch is up high, 2-0. In 2016, he led the Spartans in wins with 4, and he tied for the team lead in saves. That's tough to do. You don't see that on any baseball team nowadays. So he's been good no matter what part of the pitching rotation he's a part of, or the pitching staff, I should say. Not really a starter, hasn't really started a game for the Spartans, and he's coming out of the bullpen here. 3-0 the count to Phillip. Phillip 0 for 2, but has reached base twice. He walked and got an error from Tyler Qualis back in the third, that 3-run third that put them in the lead, and they haven't given it up yet, but it's very close. 3-1 the count. We're still in the hitters count. Bo Phillip looking to get something going against the righty Goldberg. The 3-1. Fastball down low in the dirt. He walks the first person he sees out of the bullpen. Phillip already with 2 stolen bases in this game. He could be trouble. That's going to bring him Dominic Fletcher. Fletcher currently, or at least coming into today, led the Riptide in batting average, but today he's 0 for 3. Back in the first, there was runners at second and third, nobody out, and he lined out to the shortstop Martinez. Phillip leaning a little bit too far off of second, got doubled up, and really ended that opportunity for the Riptide. But still, they have the lead. First pitch, high fastball. Fletcher trying to knock it out. 0-1. Small lead for Phillip. Only 2 steps about. No sign of going. He does go. He hesitates, and the throw is going to be way in time. It actually gets through the shortstop. He is going to be safe. So that's a little bit curious. So basically what happened there was Goldberg was getting ready to pitch. Phillip took off way early, expecting him to not look at him at all. And Goldberg didn't step off. In fact, he went toward the plate. But Phillip heard the entire team yell "step off" and decided to hesitate. By that point, by the time he started going again, the ball was at home, and he was still halfway through first and second. The 0-2 pitch on the inside corner rings up Fletcher, got him looking. Well, so what happened after that was Martinez, the shortstop, got the throw, but it short-hopped him, and it got through. Phillip took off immediately and got in just before the second baseman, Vicentainer, could get his throw to Martinez to tag out Phillip. So Phillip got a little lucky there. Runners in scoring position for the cleanup man, Jake Polshin. Polshin still awaiting the first pitch from Goldberg. Goldberg toes the rubber and fires a fastball at the knees, 0-1. Polshin, 1 for 3 on the day, a couple of strikeouts, and a double back in the 6th. That was a very deep double. Here he pops this one up, stays on the infield. Looks like it's going to be Beck. Beck makes the catch one-handed out toward the outfield grass, but stays on the dirt. There's going to be 2 gone, 1 on, and he's in scoring position. It's Connor Beck. If Beck can get a single, this would do huge for the Riptide. Bullpen is going. We'll see who the closer will be. Tomlinson does have a couple of saves on the year. We'll see if he stays out there, but he has given up 1 run coming in the top half of this inning. We're in the 8th. 4-3, the Riptide lead. They have 4 runs on 5 hits. Only 3 of those runs are earned. The Blues have 3 runs on 8 hits. First pitch to Beck, a fastball, looked like a little cutting motion as well. Swung on and missed a big yuckadoo hack there from Beck. 0-1 the count. The man on second is Bo Phillip. The leadoff walk has not come around to hurt Goldberg yet. Beck has an opportunity to do a lot of damage here. 1 run versus 2 runs is monumental. The 0-1 pitch is fouled straight back. Couple people flinched, but they're all right. That's what the chain link fence is there for. And I haven't known of baseball breaking through chain link any time. It's 0-2. There have been 6 0-2 counts against the Riptide. Only one of them has resulted in a hit. That was Will Proctor back in the 3rd. Phillip with a big lead off of second. Goldberg is going to step off. I am on my feet, everybody. This is very different than the game yesterday when the Riptide won by 13. The 0-2, fastball up high. Nice take by Beck. Going with the high heat there. Looks good to the hitter. A lot of the hitters don't have good enough bat speed to get their hands around. 1-2, still in the pitcher's advantage. Looking to get something in the zone. Connor Beck. It's a slider, ends up in the dirt. Nice block by Hastings to keep Phillip at second. Phillip thought about it. He was about 30 feet off of second, but then headed back. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the man on second. Goldberg gets the sign from Hastings. The 2-2. Drilled into center field, moving back on is Judson. Judson seems to have a beat, and he will make the running catch to retire the side. So the Riptide makes some noise, but can't get anybody across. They still hold the lead. It's 4-3 as we head to the top of the 9th here at the University of Concordia Irvine. We'll see if they can hold it. We'll be right back on the Orange County Riptide Network. We're in the top of the 9th here at the University of Concordia Irvine, and after robbing the Riptide of a hit and a run, Drew Judson is going to take a back seat for Maki Yamazaki, the man from Tokyo, Japan. He's a warrior from the University of Hawaii. Might know Logan Polson very well. Polson sitting for the first time in quite some time. We have not seen him. But perhaps if the Blues are to tie this game up, we might see Polson come in pinch hit at some point. First pitch from Tomlinson. Fastball. Outside corner at the knees. 0-1. Yamazaki taking that low and away pitch. Trying to look for his pitch. The 0-1 delivery from Tomlinson. The big hammer almost broke back in, tried to backdoor him. 1-1. 4-3, the Riptide lead. It's been back and forth all game, but the Riptide have not given up that lead they got in the third. The 1-1. Fouled off to the left side. 1-2, excuse me. Tomlinson looking to keep that lead. He has 2 saves on the year. Here's a breaking ball chopped to the shortstop. Phillip has it on the nice hop and makes the hard throw on the first to get Yamazaki by a couple of steps. That's the first out here in the 9th. If they do tie it up, we'll see if Yamazaki stays in the contest, but it's going to be the top of the lineup Excuse me, it's not going to be the top of the lineup. It's going to be the 9th spot. Miles Emerson is going to come in and pinch hit from Hayden Hastings. This is, of course, the final game for the Riptide before the 2-day All-Star break. 7 Riptide players will be playing. We've seen most of them in this contest. First pitch, a curveball on the outside corner. It lands 0-1. Miles Emerson faces the 0-1 count. This is never where you want to be against Tomlinson. The 0-1. They're going to say he did not go around on the check swing. It's going to be 1-1. On deck, waits the top of the lineup. Price, Vicentainer. Vicentainer is 3 for 4, and if he has somebody on base, that could be dangerous for the Riptide. So this is a big hitter here. Tomlinson looking to get Emerson out. The 1-1 delivery. Fastball low and away, 2-1. Bullpen empty for the Riptide. Tomlinson will close this game or he will prolong this game depending on how this string of hitters goes. He's got 1 out, but the count is 2-1 to Emerson, the 2-1. Fastball swung on and missed, blew it right by them, 2-0, 2-2. Tomlinson from the windup looks very serious. Toes the rubber, fires. A breaking ball swung on and missed. Had Emerson out in front. And like a kid who's not supposed to be on the tire swing, he got him swinging.
Early on the slider there, goes down for the second out of the inning.
There's going to be 2 gone for the top of the lineup. Price, Vicentainer. And I am so nervous, everybody. I'm not supposed to even touch the microphone wires, and I'm curling them up in my fingers. That's how nervous I am. Fresh count to the top of the lineup. Vicentainer, the all-star, going up against Will Tomlinson. First pitch, a big hammer that stays above the strike zone, 1-0. Vicentainer has got 3 consecutive hits. Only come around to score once, though. There's another big curveball that's flailed at and miss. Looks like Vicentainer was expecting fastball, but instead got the breaking ball. I've talked about how Will Tomlinson is a student of the game. There he used his smarts to his advantage. The 1-1, a huge pitch. Slider ends up on the inside corner, 1-2, and that is huge, people, let me tell you. Blues down to their last strike. These have been 2 very evenly matched teams all year. A 5-4 win for the Blues and a 5-3 win for the Riptide. Swung on and missed by Vicentainer, and Vicentainer tries to juke out Ewell, but he will run out of the base paths, and Tomlinson ends the game with 2 straight strikeouts to get his 3rd save of the year. He gives up 1 earned run, but he kept it as a Riptide lead. They come away with the win, their 5th straight win. They get into the All-Star break as one of the hottest teams in the league. The final, Riptide 4, Blues 3. The winning pitcher turns out to be Parker Joe Robinson. Excuse me, it's actually Juan Cortina, who went 5 1/3 of 2-run ball. Nice job by Parker Joe Robinson and Will Tomlinson to come in after that and settle the game down. We'll be back soon for more Riptide baseball on the Orange County Riptide Network. Stay tuned for interviews with Will Tomlinson and Jackson Williams. Jackson Williams, arguably the MVP of this game, 2 for 3 with a couple of doubles. Nice job by the Riptide. We'll see you in a couple days. Stay tuned.